Hello everyone, I'm Rob Davis and this is my colleague Joel Junker. We are two of the recruiters here at Cameron Brooks, and we work with our junior military officers to help them prepare for a successful transition into commercial business. This is the first of a series of interview preparation videos where we're going to help walk through some of the techniques and some of the things to look for and prepare for in your interviewing preparation. One of the most commonly asked questions in an interview is, tell me about yourself. And really the purpose of that question is twofold. One, it's a break the ice question. Companies use it just to get the dialogue going, to establish a good communication with you. But most importantly, companies want to see that you have direction, that you had goals, and you're able to achieve those goals. So one of the ways to approach answering this question is to break it down into three parts. One, talk about your formative years, your high school time. Talk about the goals you had in college, why you chose your academic major, your school, some of the activities you were involved in, why you chose to go into the military, and highlight some of the key parts of your military background without regurgitating a job description. So Joel's going to walk us through his tell me about yourself question, and then we're going to come back and discuss it. So Joel, tell me about yourself.
Rob, I'm originally from a small town in southeastern Minnesota and come from a great family. Two parents that worked really hard, both of them had full-time positions. I was one of those kids that was called a latchkey kid, where when I came home from school, my parents were both working, and there was a lot of expected of me in terms of doing my homework and taking care of things at home before they came back home. And when I got into high school, one of my goals was to get into a good college. My parents had always encouraged education and how important it was, and my dad, when I was in the 8th grade, took me to Notre Dame for a football game, and while I was there, that's the school I decided that was going to be my goal to get into. So a lot of things I did in high school were focused on developing myself on academics and in leadership. So I graduated the top 5% of my class, a class of over 300 people. I was a class president my junior year. I was involved in athletics. I was the captain of my swim team, captain of my baseball team, and both of those teams went to the state event in their respective sports. I was initially waitlisted at Notre Dame, and through some persistence was eventually accepted. When I got to Notre Dame, there were two basic things that I wanted to do. Number one, major in business. I wanted to major in business because as my dad was a business person, I enjoyed the conversations I had about some of the challenges he had, the problem solving that he was involved with, and I wanted to do ROTC for two main reasons. Initially, one was to help pay for schooling, and two was to serve my country. As it came along, the third reason became to continue to develop as a leader. I did graduate with honors, and I also did well in ROTC, getting the branch of my choice and being a distinguished military graduate. The branch of my choice was armor. I wanted to be around equipment. I wanted a branch I could get into and be a team leader and be in an operational environment. When I got into the military, my biggest highlight was being a platoon leader. My first position, I led 16 people, and I was also responsible for millions of dollars of equipment, the accountability and the maintenance of it. And most accomplishment I'm most proud of as a platoon leader was when my platoon was ranked as the best platoon in the unit. I was not necessarily ranked as the best lieutenant, although I was in the top three, but my platoon was the best, and I give a lot of credit to my non-commissioned officers and take care of the platoon, teaching me leadership as well. The other thing that I really liked about my career in the Army is a part of a unit called Force 21 that was testing new technology for the Army. So I was around fielding new equipment, doing project management to test it, to put on displays for higher level officers in the military and within the government. And finally, one of my other favorite positions was when I was an executive officer, leading and mentoring other junior officers. I had maintenance responsibilities, and I also had logistics responsibilities. When I came into the military, I wanted to give it a good shot. I wanted to see if this was a career for me, yet I also thought that I would probably get out at the end of my commitment and pursue business because I really enjoyed studying it at Notre Dame. And so I did decide to do that, to make this transition now and use my leadership and my business degree.
So I'm going to let Joel talk about what he was trying to convey in that answer. One of the things I want to talk about now is the delivery, the style. If you watch Joel deliver his answer, he used good voice inflection. He wasn't monotone. He had a very natural style about him. He smiled when appropriate. The answer wasn't overtly long. He got to the point he wanted to convey. He made good eye contact throughout the whole answer, because this is a basic question, But as you get into more complicated questions, it's important to be able to deliver that answer naturally, not monotone, not canned, and that only comes from a great level of practice and preparation.
Yeah, I think what you were alluding there to, Rob, is that this is a answer that's not going to get you hired. But it is one that sets the tone for the interview. The thing that can cause you to do is to get ruled out if it goes too long. So I was trying to keep it around 3 minutes or so, demonstrating goals and a plan of action for my life, giving them some things that they don't know about me by looking at the resume. Some of the choices I made and why I made those choices, such as my favorite job as the platoon leader, why I like being an executive officer. Those things aren't apparent on the resume. I did those, but they don't know why I like those things. So that's what I was trying to do, and to show them that I've had this plan of action, that I'm goal-oriented, that I've been a leader, and I was trying to subtly connect my background if I was interviewing for an operations team leadership position. Again, it's not one that I felt like was the answer to get me hired, but I felt like it opened up the door to now start the interview, to jump into some more of the tell me about a time and how do you type of questions that are also very common in an interview and much more going to get me hired.